Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. Good to be back. Coming up, I'm going to show you an old school classic folding tactical knife that I finally got for myself. I've been wanting one of these for over 30 years. I got that. The new JW collab is absolutely beautiful, called the Collusion. I have that to show you. And then we're going to talk about what knives do you recommend to first timers? You know what I mean. First timers, noobs, people who don't know about knives but maybe want to carry them, or maybe you've turned them on to knives a little bit and they don't know what to get. So I want to talk about that, find out what your recommendations are. Also, we're going to be giving away a knife tonight in an all-access giveaway. This beauty is the Two Sun TS56. Comes to us through me from Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Super thin behind the edge is this pretty beefy Tonto. It's got that cool front centerline point. It's a very interesting looking knife. It's got buttery smooth Two Sun style action. Cool milling on this layered G10. Just overall stylish, cool, futuristic Two Sun TS56. We're going to be giving this away later tonight. Hashtag knife is all you have to do. Anyone here can be entered to win. Just put hashtag knife in the comments, and who knows, could be yours. Comes to you for free. Even if you don't like the knife, enter to win the knife, because you'll still get it if you win it, and you can give it away, or you can keep it as a car knife or something like that. But you never say no to a free knife. Carino1, good to have you here, Carino. Good evening, Jim, Bob, and fellow junkies. There's so many good knives to recommend to a first timer. Gonna go with a classic, the Kershaw Leek. That's a good one. That's a great suggestion. As a matter of fact, that may have been, I think that's the first knife I got for my wife. She's very many in at this point, but that's still one she uses from time to time. Marco, nice to have you here, sir. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies, he says, and I say hello to you, Marco. Hope you're doing well. Ground Fog, good to have you here, Ground Fog. OG Blade Reviews, nice to have Dave with us as always, and thank you, Dave, for the TS56 we're going to be giving away tonight. This thing looks like it's out of a alien movie. OG Blade Review says, hello, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Bob, welcome back from your many missions. Success, we hope. Yes, indeed, success. It's good to be back. Had a great time away with my family. First knife, perhaps the Civivi Baby Banter. That's a great choice. I wish I had brought it out with me, but the Baby Banter 2 TG, the touch grass version, is really cool, and it has three tools that any Swiss Army knife has. The blade, obviously, and then a toothpick and tweezers go right in under the G10. Any Swiss Army knife, says James Hart. Yeah, I would agree with you. Any Swiss Army knife. James, nice to have you here with us, sir. Thanks for joining us. He says, I think it depends on the person. I've a third cousin who loves to fish, so I would get him a stainless steel Mora. That's a great suggestion. Because it's a do-everything knife, and I do hear that they're thin enough, most of them, that people like to use them for fish. Doug Bowl, nice to have nice to have you here, Doug. I got my stick right here. I love this Blackthorn walking stick that Doug got me. I should just keep it here like this. Makes me look authoritative. Hello, Bob, Jim, and Junkies, he says. Good to have you here, Doug. Sword XXXY, good to have you here, Sword. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. First knife would depend on the person and use, but you can't go wrong with a Swiss Army knife or a multi-tool. Okay, I agree with you. But the multi-tool, yes. The Swiss Army knife, yes. And you could argue that that's a multi-tool, and it is. But something like a Leatherman would leave me cold. Doug says a strong lockback, all-purpose 6-inch folder, stainless Bowie, made to last and last. Like this, perhaps something similar to this. Boom. I was just thinking a nice buck 110 or 112 would be nice, because it also comes with the leather pouch and everything. So it's a bit of a throwback, and and you get a little leather with it, and it's a great knife. I've been into mine lately. Matt Lamana, nice to have you here, Matt. Gentleman Junkie. He says, happy Thursday night knives, Bob, Jimmy Notes, and Junkies. Classy gentleman's first Jack Wolf Gateway. Less gentle off-grid, less genteel off-grid Badger or Stinger EDC. Those are good choices, both. Big enough to hold them over till they get inevitably ready to go bigger. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Because eventually they are going to go in for the larger knife. Let me put that aside. For the larger knives or the more, complicated or expensive. James Hart says, no, get them a knife that money-wise does not cost much if it is lost or broken. Yeah, but you don't want something, here's something I've thought of. A lot of people, unless you're in their life day to day and you can kind of monitor and take and sharpen their knife when it goes dull, a lot of people just buy new knives when their knives go dull. So intimidated by the process of sharpening are they? So maybe a little bit, like a leak is a perfect because it's got some good steel, good heat treat, but not too expensive. Have a knife day. Good to have you here. Have a knife day. Good evening, Junkalos. Well, probably a Benchmade or Spyderco, he said. That's interesting. Benchmade is too expensive in my book, and Spydercos are weird looking. I love them. Do not get me wrong. I love them. But I think to a first timer, Spyderco's exotic fruit. But, maybe that's a good thing. Reel them in. Show them how interesting the hobby is. Scott, nice to have you here, Scott. A first knife. I've always recommended a Puko in any of its forms. Not too big, not too small, easy to handle, easy to maintain, and capable of many tasks. But that's me, a half full. Let's see. That's me. I'm half full of Viking blood. Scott, I think that's great. I love the Puko. I especially love its use in the movie Sisu. So you can use a Puko for a lot. James Hart says Puko or Mora, both excellent choices. Who makes a great Puko? Is it Martini? Let me know. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. Good to have you here, Angry Tom. For a slip joint, I would recommend a Jack Wolf Gateway Barlow. Since that's been mentioned twice, I guess I put it away today. I did a lot of cleaning up of this desk here, but I would agree with you. The Gateway Barlow is awesome. I would also, I just gave someone who works with and for me I gave him a Waxahachie Jack. Is that what it's called? It's a Rosecraft Blades, and it's his first pocket knife in 40 years or something like that. So yeah, any great slip joint that's inexpensive. James Hart says, I just finished putting a new belt hanger system on my new EF 146. It's a beast of a knife. Yes. You were inspired by that giveaway, no? Lone Star Dowboy, nice to have you here, sir. Carry of the day, Cold Steel Talwar XL serrated. Speak of the devil. I got one right here. I've been just going whole hog on the large cold steels lately, so I've had a bunch of them out and about, and I've been carrying them on and off all day. Terminator Joe says, Terminator Joe, good to have you here. Speaking of large cold steel folders, Terminator Joe says, another day, another knife. Good evening, gents. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're having a great night. It is so beautiful. This is a great knife. Great knife. Cat Scratch. Nice to have you here, Cat Scratch. Hello, gentlemen. Hello to you, Cat Scratch. Hope all is well. The Maroney. Good to have you here, the Maroney. What's up, y'all, he says. Well, what's up with you? Hope you're doing great. Hope that family is doing great, too. Have a Knife Day says, I am a fan of the Adams with fixed... Adamas. With fixed and folding. Yeah, I especially like the Adamas fixed blade with the serrations on the swedge. How cool is that? It's a little nasty touch there. Yeah, these are great desk knives, by the way, my bucks. I love having them close by lately. Scott says, yeah, the show has starter. Hi, everyone. Yeah, the show has... Oh, my gosh. Let me just... Give me a second. Okay, and then something just popped up on my screen. Let me get rid of that. There we go. All right. Lone Star Dowboy says, first time knife recommendations, Swiss Army knife or something slicey and stainless for the kitchen. Let's assume, for the sake of this argument, that they already have kitchen knives covered. They have a paring knife and a butcher knife, and they're screamingly sharp. But they want to start carrying a knife on their person. Doesn't have to be a pocket knife. It could be anything. Could be this 1917 Cold Steel Frontier Bowie, but probably not. What a cool knife this is. Anthony Kitchen, nice to have you here, Anthony. Hello, Bob, the Penguin. Ha, first timer, thanks. Okay, so the Penguin, that is a good one. That's a good choice. It's a non-threatening blade, but it's a very good blade. I have the original Penguin with the denim micarta. That's a QSP, right? Great washer action on that knife. That's a great suggestion, actually. Shadow Slayer 29. Good to have you here, Shadow Slayer. I would recommend the Buck 110. A fine choice, Shadow Slayer. I just got over singing the praises of it. It is a great knife. And it's got the modern convenience of a lock, but it's also old school. It will remind you of someone from the past. Trent Costello, or someone from your past. Like, this reminds me of my grandfather and my dad. He had a Gerber version of this. Trent Costello, nice to have you here, Trent. Hey, y'all. Hey to you, sir. So as we say in Texas, hope all is well. All is great here. Oh, wait, let me ask you, Trent, or anyone else from the South, what does, when a woman says, God bless your soul, or something like that, and they don't, like, what does that actually mean? Maybe I don't have that right. Bless you, honey, or something. It's like a really nice way to tell you to go to hell. Oh, bless your heart. Well, bless your heart. Thanks, Jim. What does that mean to you guys? Bob Tism, nice to have you here, Bob. What knife is good for sat by? Huh? What knife is good for sat by? All right. I need you, Bobatism. I need you to get back to me on that. And just, is it? Let's see. Good evening, Knife Junkies. Oh, Jacob Vargas. Nice to have you here, sir. Good to have you here. So Bob Tism was saying, what kind of knife is it? And now I'm sorry, man. I totally lost track of what you may have been asking about. Benedict Doty. Nice to have you here, Ben. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here with all of you tonight. We're grateful to have you here with us, Ben. Oh, Stabby. Stabby. What did I just have out that was Stabby? What knife is good for? What is a good Stabby knife? I'm getting you. Sorry, man. Sorry. That took me a second. Here. Oh, there's lots of them here, but here's two of them. I'll show you two that are great, Baptism, for that purpose. And but they're different. First one, let's talk about folders. Now, this is a large one, but you can get this instead of a 6-inch blade. You can get this with a 4-inch blade. So I would say the Cold Steel Tie-Light series, very long, slender, stabby, swedged type knives. If you want a folder, and like I said, you can get a smaller version of that. Or look at this. Here's a fixed blade designed by Mr. Williams. Look at that. Oh, seems to have frozen up there. Okay, there we go. This is the Higo no Kami Hi06. I can't remember what this one is called, to be honest. It's Japanese, and I can never remember the names, but incredibly stabby. Someone chime in. I know this is a very popular knife. I know Dave has one, and he's got the 4-inch version. So Baptism, you can get both these 6-inch bladed stabby knives, either in their 6, or in this case 6.5-inch length, or you can get them in 4-inch blades. So both very stabby, both very different, both kind of giving off different ethnic vibes. One's sort of Italian street thug, and the other is feudal Japanese street thug. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Hello. Hello all. Hope I have better luck this week. #knife. What is Karen talking about? Talking about this right here, winning this knife, the Two Sun TS56 from Dave through me to you. This is the giveaway knife for this night, for tonight. Karen, I hope your luck is great. Northern Knives, good to have you here, sir. We have Mike with us. Mike sent me another one of these to give away next month. So the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway knife will be a 3-dog knife Riot in black. It looks so cool in black. Mike, thank you a million. I know the Gentleman Junkies thank you in advance. Two of his own 3-dog knives has he sent for us to give away, as well as 2 collaboration knives that he did with Paul Munko and Colorful Phil. So Mike Wharton has really hooked us up. Thank you very much, man. I do appreciate it, man. With friends like Mike and Dave, we're sitting pretty, all of us. So we stand to win some really cool free knives. So thank you both, guys. Jacob Vargas says, yes, big thanks to OG Blade Reviews for the giveaway knife. As always, man. Yes. Ed, nice to have you here, Ed. I'd say the Rat 1 and 2. Those are great choices. Indeed. I like the Rats. And not so, very, very useful, not so threatening, but you could use them that way if you needed to. Alex Kerber, nice to have you here, Alex. Do you want a knife, Alex? Hashtag knife in the comments. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, hello, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. The Gateway Barlow by Jack Wolf is awesome. Automatic knife, Boker Kalashnikov, fixed blade, probably Mora. Huh, interesting. I think it's interesting that you put in an automatic knife category. That Kalashnikov, yeah, would definitely be a perfect choice. Perfect choice. The Boker. Benedict Odie says, have always had a soft spot for my first knife as a Cub Scout, the Victorinox Huntsman. Now, what, Ben, what's the tool set on the Huntsman? I can never keep any of these straight, though I know I love the Tinker and I love the Pioneer X, but other than that, and the Farmer, it's always hard for me to remember. Jammin' Parker, nice to have you here, Jammin'. Evening, everyone. Can't go wrong with a good Spyderco folder. Large range of prices for all budgets. That's a good point about the range of prices and builds. Like you have everything from the hottest PM2 in the hottest new steel all the way to the Bird series and everything in between. Ouchie, by the way, those Bird knives are awesome. I have one and it's great. Ouchie EDC, good to have you here, Ouchie. Howdy, he says. Well, howdy to you. Trent Costello, hashtag knife. If I win, please give it to Mr. Jim, since he does a good job behind the camera. I will indeed. I will indeed. And as a matter of fact, if you look closely, that white G10 almost looks blue. Almost looks blue. And that's his favorite color, that Carolina blue. So if that's what happens, thank you, man. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Adrian Fighter 35. Good to have you here, Adrian. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Hope everyone is having a great night. Glad you had family time. Good, sir. Thank you, Adrian. I know you and yours appreciate being together. Same with me. We always have a good time. And even when we're having a bad time, it's like there's no one I'd rather have a bad time with. Craig Vincent says, evening, Bob, Jim, and junkies. Folders that, Craig, first of all, nice to have you here, Craig. Folders that I hand out routinely are the Cold Steel SR1 Lite or Range Boss. Oh, those are great choices. Versions of the Rat, Buck Bantam. That's another good one to have on hand for that purpose. QSP Parrot and Kershaw Oblivion. I'm not sure I know what the Oblivion is. For fixies, SRK and SRKC. Great choices. Those are all great choices, Craig. Range Boss. Someone handed me a Range Boss. I'd be psyched. I like that. That's like one of the many versions of the same profile that was used for the Broken Skull. Kind of appeared across time as different knives with different dress, but same profile. Jacob Vargas says, yep, a buck folder was my first knife when I was young. Yeah, for me, it was one of the Boy Scout knives, the multi-tools. Donald Fry, nice to have you here, Donald. Evening, everybody. If I wanted to turn him into a junkie, first knife would be the Spyderco Para 2. Not a bad choice, I got to say. It's got fidget factor, which is big. It's a great cutter. It doesn't matter which model you get. Chances are, with the way most people use knives, it's not going to go dull for a long time. Judy Winder, nice to have you here, Judy. Hi, hashtag Knife Junkies. Yep. Judy wants to win this right here, this beautiful TS56 from Two Sun, given to us by Dave. Really appreciate that. 2104 Dogface. Good to have you here, Dogface. An affordable CRKT or Kershaw or Cold Steel, just to get them used to having one. Yes, I think that's a good choice. That's a cool picture, 2104. Yeah, that's a great idea. Something robust and something, that if they like that one, they can grow into the brand. There's room to move in all three of those brands if you want to start cheap and go up. Start inexpensive. I don't like using the word cheap unless something is chintzy. Matthew, nice to have you here, Matthew. Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hashtag Knife. Hope you're doing great too, Matthew. It's Thursday night. It's the start of the weekend, and at least here on the East Coast of the United States, and we're ready to go. Victor Blades, good to have you here, Victor. Hey, guys, greetings to all, he says. Greetings to you. Is that the Verrazano? Beautiful picture there. Fred Ferbemeyer, nice to have you here, Fred. Hello, Bob. Hello, Fred. Hope you're doing well. 2104 says, got to love the Talwar. Yes, indeed. Got to love the Talwar. I'm just gonna put these on the table just so you can see what I have pulled out. Seth Lang says, good evening, folks. Seth, good evening to you, man. Hope you're doing really, really well. I think a bird is a great way to introduce someone to Spyderco without spending too much money. Yeah, the Spydercos do get spendy, and the Spydercos have the same robust build and the same fit, but doesn't have the same finish, and that's fine. You don't need high finish on something like that. Northern Knife says a good old man folder like a case is always a good starter. Yes, I agree. Case knives are great. All the sort of grandpa knives, slip joint knives, so great. Jacob Vargas says yes, the new TCal Agent 004 for a great Puko. 004. I'm not sure I remember which profile that is. Speaking of agents, the 001 will be coming out in the next week or two. I still need to get my copies from Tim, and we're going to be showing them off, and can't wait to see them with their new milling. So nice. Marcus G503. Marcus, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies. Spyderco Mannix, great knife. Maybe not gentlemanly, but great all-around knife. One of my favorites. I love that knife. As a matter of fact, I have one with the lightweight with S110V that Shane Gables gave me. And that thing is awesome. I love it. And I used to have the big one too, but I got rid of it. OG Blade Review says, on a work tough gear tear, Bob, I noticed once again, the blame must fall on you. My 5th and 6th are arriving soon. Dave, I love how you don't half step, man. You get into work tough gear. You've got 6 already, and pretty awesome ones. Do you have this? I think this is a new one coming out. Do you have one of these coming? I hope you do, because if you're in a Bowie phase, this is, if not the king, this is definitely in the running for most awesome contemporary Bowie. Scott says, what's this? Jaimo Rosselli, Carasuando are my choices for the off-the-shelf Scandinavian knives. Sorry for all my typos, Bob and Jim. Fat finger, small phone. I hear you, man. I hear you. Never have to apologize for the typing. Splitting slices. Good to have you here, Byron. He says, howdy, Bob, Jim, and junkies. My go-to for first knife for children of adults or adults would be a Victorinox electrician's knife or Pioneer. Oh, very nice choice. Alox Slippy multi-tool or a Civivi Elementum. That's a great one. Cold Steel Cold 4. Yeah, I thought about that. I was thinking about, here's the one thing about these. And so like I said, I've been on a little cold steel kick, and a lot of an American father. Nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, junkies. Your comment was featured at the beginning of the podcast yesterday. So I'm glad I'm glad the show was able to perk up your mood on that particular day. What I was going to say is that the Code 4, I remember my Code 4 had an especially stiff triad lock, and you just can't tell when a triad lock is, when a knife is going to have an especially stiff triad lock. So they're not always great for people that don't have good hand strength. Adrian Fighter 35 says, I had a cheap Coast knife from AutoZone that did a decent job for a while, so I would recommend those for beginners. Also, a Cold Steel Mini Recon 1. That's a great choice. I was just lamenting the fact that they don't make the small version of the Voyager anymore, just the 4-inch. They used to make a 3-inch in 3 different blade shapes anyway. Hiro Zukuri HZ6. Thank you. Thank you, OG Blade Reviews. He's talking about this beautiful James Williams designed CRKT, the HZ6. Hakuru Fareed Zakaria. I'm sorry, I totally messed that up again. Hira Zukuri. Hira Zukuri. HZ6. HZ6. Hira Zukuri. Got it. Hira Zukuri HZ6. G-Ball Vision. Nice to have you here, G-Ball. Hey, everyone. Much love to y'all. Well, it's good to have you here, man. Much love right back at you. Mad Hatter. Good to have you here, Mad Hatter. That Fisher Blades McNasty is a carry dagger. Me needs, me thinks. I'm going to be showing that off shortly. I think you need that too. I think you will like it. And if you're in the market for a dagger, something you can carry around, you're going to love it. Trent Costello says, well, bless your heart. That's what it is. Usually said when someone does something for a second time with same results or many different things. Okay. All right. I got you. Oh, you asked her out again? Well, bless your heart. Jacob Vargas says, awesome blade. Love the Williams blade. I have the James Williams Hishu and love it. Yeah, I'm not surprised from your avatar that you would like his knives, as they're all very Japanese inspired. Bobby Rains, nice to have you here, Bobby. Evening, everyone. Good evening to you, man. I hope you're doing well. Can't wait to get my hands on one of your rainmakers. Jacob Green, nice to have you here, Jacob. The knife I gifted my girlfriend for her first knife was a Reich slip joint, and the Leatherman Wingman. That's a good choice. Now she uses it almost every day. Yeah, rake, not Reich, right? Rake. It's spelled Ruiki, but it's rake. G-Ball Vision, good. I already said good to have you here, but I'll repeat. It's nice to have you here. #knife for someone special. So G-Ball is going to give this to someone special if he wins. What are you going to do with it if you win? #knife and find out. Victor Blade says, hey, should be receiving 3 knives soon. Premium Raccoon by Vosteed. That's pretty cool. The Vero Avid 1. Very nice. And need a hinderer in my life again. Nice. Waiting on a skinny hollow grind slicer. XM18. Very nice. I didn't know they were doing hollow grinds. Very nice. By the way, Tenacious makes a good first knife. Yes, Tenacious makes an excellent first knife. Or anything in that series. Benedict Odie says Huntsman has the scissors and saw. Okay, Huntsman has the scissors and saw, along with a normal other Victorinox tool set and 2 size blades. Okay, I have a Huntsman. Okay. And then I like the one with the full Phillips screwdriver on the bottom. I think that's the Tinker. Anyway, Terminator Joe says, my first knife was a gas station knife. Cheap. I found it at a sidewalk walking home from school. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's a knife that I found as a very small child that was in our garage all of growing up. My mom used it as a gardening tool, and I wish we still had that thing. It was cool. Anyway, Seth Lang. Good to have you here, Seth. The Pulp Scandi I like is the Tarava 110 or 140 Jacari Puko from Veru Steleka in carbon steel. Teaches respect for needed oil, but ease of sharpening. Okay. The pulp Scandi. What I'm not sure what the pulp thing is. What the pulp Scandi I like is the Terrava 110, the 140 Jacari Puko from Veru Steleka in carbon steel. Okay, cool. Thank you, Seth. Those sound legit from all of the double vowels I see there. That sounds like pretty legit Northern European knifeage. Hero Sticks, good to have you here, Hero. Evening and cheers, everybody. No better way to make a commute home after a long work day. Man, I love hearing that. Drive safely and let us know at the next stop sign what you're carrying. Benedict Doty says another great option for a first knife would be the Demco 80 20.5. You could go Grivery model for a first knife. Yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a good one, especially if they're, like, a good friend. Wicked nice cold steel, says Matt Maurer. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, and it's good to have you with us. Doug Bowl says, my ShivWorks Disciple Omni, both edges sharpened. Awesome. Does fit the bill for a smaller utility and self-defense. You were just going to be receiving that soon, right? And obviously you just got it. That is awesome. Shane, Edgy American Blades, how you doing? My grandson's first knife was an American Blade Works Slippy. Nice. It's good to have you here, Shane. Shane called me yesterday, and I texted him back, and I forgot to call you. Sorry, man. But since we have Shane with us, this is our Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife. Adrian Fighter says, badass blades on the table. Yes, sir. That's what we specialize in. Just like this. This is the Edgy American Bowie. This is going to one lucky Gentleman Junkie next Thursday. So if you want to win this beautiful, super sharp, super thin Bowie knife, perfect, I would say, for in the waistband carry if you make a Kydex sheath, but for regular around the house and around the farm or what have you, around the property, you have this beautiful 1831 leather sheath here. You recognize that. And look at that beautiful thing. Really, really nice sheath, form fit to the beautiful Bowie. And this is going to one lucky Gentleman Junkie. Loving this thing. So there it is. And thank you, Shane. Thank you. Again, another generous friend of the show and friend who's given knives. We all appreciate it. Paul Mills, nice to have you here, Paul. Bob DeMarco, he says, guilty as charged. Paul Mills, good to have you here. Terminator Joe says, chill with all that cold steel. The Spartan I recommend for first timers. Oh, the Spartan. That's heavy hitting. That's 4.5 inches. Beautiful deep recurve. I love it. I think I would like to get that with the serrated blade, but I don't need it. 2104 Dogface says, so need to get the girlfriend an Espada XL for her set for her birthday. Oh, I think that's a great idea. They're not just for, here, where did I put it? Here. Yeah, the XL. Homie Omi. Nice to have you here, homie. Yes, you do have to get one of these. Look at this. You got the reach of like a machete if you're all the way back here. Homie Omi says, I'm not sure, but Dave Canterbury dropped a video today on how to set up a Pathfinder knife kit. I saw that, or I saw the, I didn't watch the video, but I saw the still. A fixed blade you put together at home with a hand tool that could work for kids. That sounds awesome. I love Dave Canterbury. I like watching his videos. I like his voice. He's so chill, and I bought one of his campfire pots or camping pots. It's really nice. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. Evening, everyone. Looked forward to Thursday Night Knives. Got my Rainmaker from Bobby Rains, and it's spectacular. I'm seething with jealousy. Jealousy, not envy, but jealousy. I'm jealous. I want one, and I need to get one. The custom Bowie I have coming to me, being made right now and finished up right now, Once I pay for that and I kind of replenish, then I'm going in for a Rainmaker. Just don't stop making them, Bobby. Craig Vincent says, if anyone has the desire to hand out an 80-10 for a first knife, they're a hot tip. Midway USA. Oh, here's a hot tip. Midway USA has the S35 VN Tonto version on sale for $69.99. That's crazy, Craig. That's crazy. And I'll tell you why. I just ordered 2 more cold steels because now I'm 2 knives away from completing my full large cold steel collection. And so I just kind of went in for those. But while I was looking at those, I was looking at the 80-10 light with the Tonto. It's such a good looking knife. So the S35 for $70, that's great. Edgy American Blade says, can't wait to walk my grandson through making his very first fixed blade. Oh, that'll be awesome, man. That'll be awesome. And you'll be able to give him things like this. How great is that to remember your grandpa by? Love it. 2104 Dogface says, I knew Jake McNasty from the Filthy 13. Get this guy his story of blowing up all the safes he came across during the war. He would love having a knife named after him. How cool. I knew Jake McNasty from the Filthy 13. Wow. Get guy his story. Get guy his stories of blowing up all the safes he came across during the war. How cool. How cool. All right, well, we'll show that knife off in a second. 2104 Dogface, that is amazing. Terminator Joe says, what's a knife you wouldn't recommend for a first-timers? For me, Odin's toothpick from Midgard's Messer is actually bigger than the Espada XL and might take a finger or 3 from an amateur. Yeah, that is a big one. It is bigger, but it's less usable, in my opinion. But yes, a bad one, I would say. Maybe some of these actually, the big ones with the very stiff triads. David Nephilim Slayer, nice to have you here. He says #knife because he wants to win the Two Sun TS56 in about a half hour or so. #knife, he says. My life manager received an original Paul knife. Wait, hang on. First of all, David, nice to have you here. My life manager received an original Paul knife for first Christmas. A good first knife for opening packages. That's wait, an original Paul knife. What's a Paul knife? What's a Paul knife, David? Help me out. That's not ringing a bell. Edgy American says, can I be on the live for that giveaway, Bob? Absolutely. That's next week. Please, yes, please do that. And you give it away. You give it away. Look at that's a really cool looking sheath, I gotta say. You did a great job. And by the way, just perfect size, Shane, perfect size for an everyday carry fixed blade. Like you can get 4 fingers on there, and you can get the thumb up there, and that's a good 4.5 inch blade there. This thing is awesome. Oh, and by the way, there's his awesome mud flap logo. Really sweet. Jammin Parker says, Bob, I got my hands on one of the new TKL 003. Super impressive. TKL is killing it. I think you will love. Yes, I do love the new machining on the updated Agent. I'm excited to be showing it off here on the 001. It looks great. I saw it in pictures a while ago, but for the first time at Blade Show in person, and it's really impressive. Sean Clark says, my first blade was a Fairbairn Sykes. I think was a copy bought off a friend in the early 90s. That's cool. That's this knife right here. That's a great first knife. Chris229, good to have you here, Chris. Evening, everyone. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing fine and having a great evening. Northern Knife says, a Paul knife has a lock internal to the pivot locked to the blade. You open it by flicking the handle off the blade instead of the blade out of the handle. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Paul knife. I had one. I didn't have it. My best friend had one where the blade was out. Imagine a fixed blade, but there was a guard over it, and you moved the thing, and it was sprung load in. It popped in and revealed the blade. didn't shoot the blade out. It was like the lamest out the front of all time. Kind of interesting, though. Gary Bucco, good to have you here, Gary. Greetings, Mom and Jim. Bob and Jim, I mean. It's all right, man. It's like when you're in school and you accidentally call your teacher Mom, and everyone hears, and they're like, ah. Edgy American Blades. To be honest, the handle is a tad short for me, but it will fit most. Yeah. I know. I figure, but look, it's perfect for my medium-sized hands. I would imagine even large hands, a little bit larger than this. You can just totally have full control over this. Ow, shit. Nothing extra to pry out. It's perfect. Not bleeding, but very sharp knife. Anthony Rollins, nice to have you here, Anthony. Rough Rider, large stockman in T10 carbon, Spyderco Shaman, and a cold steel spike. Is this what you're carrying, or these are great first knives? Because yes, to both of them. David Nephilim Slayer says, a pawl knife refers to a folding knife featuring the innovative axial lock mechanism designed and patented by Paul W. Pullman. This mechanism allows for one-handed opening and closing and secure stowage, I'm imagining. That's cool. John Schaaf, nice to have you here, John. First knife for first-timers, I think, should be anything from Kershaw with speed safe opening, a.k.a. the training wheels of the knife world. That's a great happy Thursday all #knife. John, that's a great analogy. The perfect training wheels. And also it's kind of like a switchblade. It kind of feels powerful at first. And, people are loving the new cold steels. What the hell is that? I was about to say Swerve. It's not the Swerve. Swift. Yeah, looks good with the Atlas lock. Gary Bucco says, thanks for the show. It's my pleasure, Gary. It is my pleasure. That said, I think it's time that we now get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
In my front right pocket today, I had the super ultra light carbon fiber Solstice by Ocaso knives. I had this out. Usually it sits with my other Solstices in a beautiful leather case on my dresser that Rick Valdez sent me a few years back. They're really, really nice. They're great steak knives. They're great dress-up knives. You have to get dressed up for something. But I had this out because I had another interview with him, and so I busted them out and just had them with me while I was talking with him. And what a great knife this is. So I popped it in my pocket this morning, and this is what I had. Worked great. Unfortunately, did not eat any steak, but it's good for all sorts of things. Actually, that would be an excellent, in a pinch, self-defense knife, especially held in Pickall. My slip joint today was this. This is the second release of the Benny's clip, and this thing is beautiful. It has the purple kieranite that is just so lovely. It looks like a curtain from an old movie, I don't know. Just beautiful stuff. Anyway, I busted this out because my new Jack Wolf knife has the same material on the handle, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But this such a great knife. I love the Benny's clip. It's Ben Belkin's version of the Lanny's clip, or his not tip of the hat to the Lanny's clip, designed by Tony Bose, and it's just a great shape. And it is among the most robust of the Jack Wolf knives. I just love it. Next up, I had the McNasty on me. That beautiful new Fisher Blades McNasty. This thing is awesome. I had this in my waistband for part of the day, and then had it in my front right next to this. I've done that with two recent pocket fixed blade knives and are finding them even comfortable in the middle of the pocket. I was worried that this one in particular would jab into my into my hip. It did not. It was perfect, even like halfway up the pocket. Really nice, discreet sheath on this. One thing about this is that I do find that it's easier to extract when you just kind of push it out like that, using the thumb to sort of separate those pieces of Kydex, because the retention here is this notch and this tab, this depression, this notch. They fit into one another, and it's just on that side. So if you just push, it releases. But if it's in the waistband and the waistband is holding it kind of shut because it's tight, between, next to your body like that, it's harder to extract. So definitely, I think it's easier when you pry it open with the thumb. That's the one thing about this. So that does make, until this breaks in a little bit more, it does make grabbing it in reverse grip a little more cumbersome. So it's a harder tug to pull it out that way, and you end up pulling your pants up around your ears. But it'll all break in, and I am loving the McNasty from Fisher Blades. And then last up, my emotional support knife, my ESK riding along with me today, was this super cool knife, the Mayhem. I've had it for a few weeks now and just kind of have it around. I just love having it around. It is heavy, man. It's got the full liners. It is a heavy knife, but it's not that heavy. I can even carry it around in gym shorts. It's not that bad. But I haven't been carrying it much out in public. It is, like I said, somewhat heavy, and it has a big footprint, So, but it's a really, really excellent knife. It's incredibly sharp. It leaves an impression. I've got the Snaggletooth MF on there for pocket opening. I do like the Atlas lock, pretty cool lock. So I've been really, really enjoying my Mayhem. And I didn't think I'd ever get one because I thought they were a little silly. But then again, I'm a devotee to this. All right, that's what I had on me. What did you have on you? Let me know. Drop it in those in the comments down there. The Mayhem, the McNasty, the Lanny's clip, Benny's clip, sorry, from Jack Wolf Knives, and the Ocaso Solstice. Oh, by the way, they just came out with an automatic kind of based on the Solstice, also designed by Andrew Demko. This is designed by Andrew Demko. And it's a really cool out the front called the Lucent. So check that out. Okay, what were you guys carrying? Let me know. I'm going to take a little sip of water as my mouth begins to dry. Hot that like button. Yes, I am with you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for mentioning that. Please hit the like button. Subscribe. You got to subscribe, because when you subscribe and we get up to 50,000 subscribers, we will be giving one of these away. Maybe not this, but a custom handmade knife by Dirk Pinkerton when we hit 50,000 subscribers. This, the Matador, could be the knife we choose. We just don't know. That's a double-edged fighting knife, similar to something you might see in Spanish knives. Really love this thing. It's awesome. I love his knives. OG Blade Review says, today's carry, the ESK, was, the Lanzetta. Love that knife. The Work Tough here at Lanzetta. That's a beautiful recurved Bowie. The Williams Ozo Raku Zukuri 4 5-inch folder. That thing is awesome. 4.5-inch folder. That's right. Operator and MagnaCut. He just posted that today, I think. North Mountain Blades Chop 2 thumb disc. Also awesome. Really like North Mountain Blades. Concept Kosami, the Kunwu Stiffy D Fixie Vandis 4, Venatus 4, and D Rocket Zulu out the front. Oh, I remember that. That's a cool, very, very nice carry here, Dave. Very, always impeccable carry. Northern Knife says, Bob, you definitely recognize a Paul if you saw one. Produced by Gerber years ago, acquired by Lone Wolf, and subsequently benchmade. Okay. All right. I'll have to definitely look it up. I know I'll recognize it. I just can't think of what it is. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, in my hand, I have my Monterey Bay knives, California legal out the front. This thing is awesome. Is it, Angry Tom, is it a little guy out the front, California legal? Yeah. So Ocaso Knives also has a California legal version of that little DeMarco that I was just talking about. David Nephilim Slayer says, serrated Talwar is on duty tonight. Love it. I love it. I love hearing that. I do love the plate opener, by the way, the thumb plate and pocket opener. Angry Tom says, I got an Ocaso catalog today. Some very nice gentleman knives. Yes, very nice gentleman knives. Great designers on board. Andrew Demko, Mike Wallace, Kurt Murican, and others who are slipping my mind now. Shane says, in my pocket, the Edgy American Blades fret. Oh, yeah. Cool. Which one is the fret? I'm not sure I know which one is the fret. Jacob Vargas says, love those scales on the Jack Wolf. Yes, I do too. They are beautiful. Zachary Schmidt, nice to have you here, Zachary. He says, evening, Bob and fellow junkies. And I say, evening to you, Zachary. James Hart says, in my pocket today was my old friend, the Cold Steel Voyager Clip Point XL with 5.5-inch blade. I seem to carry it most of the time. That's a great one. That was on duty a couple of days ago, on duty to borrow someone else's terminology. And I love that thing too. And I was wishing I could find that also in a half serrated. They don't really do the serrated on the Bowie blade anymore. Edgy American says, Tony Bowes is an American legend. He is. He is an American legend. Have a Knife Day says, the Hogue X5 manual flippers, 3.5-inch spear point blade, black aluminum handle, tan G10 inserts with a tan blade. Hogue X5. So another Elishowitz, right? His designs are so cool, and he did some really great ones for Hogue. Terminator Joe says, today was the same carry, 2 Espadas, 2 Mayhems, but today I decided to carry a Vaquero XL plain and serrated. That's freaking awesome. So you got 6 giant blades on you. Jesse says, Matriarch 2 and the Vosteed Porcupine. Let me show you guys a classic that I just finally got after wanting one. Let's see. I guess first time I saw was sometime in between 93 and 95. I saw this knife. 2104 Dogface says, should read the book, The Filthy 13, about Jake's wartime adventures. The Fat Election also did a YouTube video on it. Oh, cool. But the movie, The Dirty Dozen, wasn't based on them. Okay. All right. I was thinking Inglorious Bastards. Dion Page, nice to have you here, Dion. Hey, Bob, Raylene Page here. Love the ESK Mayhem. Wow. Raylene, good to have you. Good to have you here. I wonder what you're carrying. Let me know. But yeah, that thing is crazy. G-Ball Vision says, my EDC for today is the Quiet Carry Shallows Fixed Blade. Amazing. Quiet Carry, Waypoint. Quiet Carry is interesting to me. Waypoint LC Magna Cut, North Mountain Blades, DLC 3V. Ooh, very nice. BBMN and the Dawson Machine Flashlight. I love the BBMN. Got mine right here. Mine is with that SLD magic. John Schaaf says, that is how you whip a big boy out. Yes, yes, it is indeed. I think you were talking about this one. All right. Northern Knife says, today's carry is my three dog night prototype folder again. Tactile turn, zirconium side click, Chavez Redemption. I don't know why I mess up saying that every time. Slip joint, Maritac tie flashlight, and a Glenlivet 14-year single malt Scotch. Nicely done, sir. I can't wait to see the prototype. I gotta say, Douglas Wagner says Defiant 7's Talos in Magna Cut. Awesome choice, Douglas. I was playing with those. I intended to come back to them at Blade Show and buy one, and I think I just blew my money on other stuff and didn't come back to it. But I love those and would love to have one. Larry Babcock, good to have you here, Larry. Williams Blade Design SZF003. Is that a fixed blade, Larry, or is that one of the folders? Either way, I know what the blade looks like pretty much, and it's awesome. I love the shape of those Japanese fighting knives he comes up with. Commander Bell, nice to have you here, Commander. And the Dolphin. I bought Jeep Survival Knife from Big 5 years ago. It has a compass, matches, fishing hook, and weights. I don't use much because I don't know how durable it is. I keep it as a novelty. Commander Bell, yes, great novelty. I wish I had one like that from the 80s. I wish I still had mine, but it is a novelty because there's all of that room in the handle where you can put all of that stuff is where a tang should be to make it a strong knife. But instead, the tang is only about this big, and then it's bolted on in the handle. So it's not going to be that durable, but it's a cool thing to have, definitely. And in a pinch, I'm sure you could use it to your benefit. John Schaaf says, today's carry on me was the Riot Exo M Tonto in LMAX. Those Exos are so cool. Even the kind of creepy and dangerous karambit one is pretty sweet. Terminator Joe says my pocket check changes if I'm wearing cargo pants or jeans. I bet because you carry around your XL, don't you? I never carry my XL. I should try it anyway. Zachary Schmid says, well, Zachary, nice to have you here, sir. Carried my Buck 112 Ranger Classic today and my Fantiso Atlas folder today. Fantiso. Here's my Buck 112. I put that little thumb stud thing on there. I don't know. Sometimes I take it off, but I love the 112, and I'm glad to see someone's carrying it. Kevin Smith and Knives. Kevin Smith, good to have you here, sir. Hello, and peace to you, sir. Victor Blade says, today's carry, my Vero Mini Nova with Timascus dress kit clipped on my right pocket. Very nice. Mini Nova. And a leather slip in my left pocket, my case cigar whittler with gorgeous butterscotch covers. So pretty. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah. The next case I purchase when I get around to it will be probably the dark red bone. Is that what it's called? Backlock that you sent me the links to. Craig Vincent says, Cold Steel 8010 Tonto, Engage 3.5, Swift 3. That Engage is pretty cool. XL Chris Voyager, the Carve, the Spyderco Manix 2XL, Purple Haze Manganis Kaimano, Kaiser Phoenix Artisan Revel in S90V, and the Vosteed Vombat. I don't think I know that one. The Vombat. Blades for you. Good to have you here, Blades for you. Sitting here playing with my Cold Steel Cold 4 Tonto. Got it today. I love it. I need a Code 4 back in my life. And I'm thinking I would get the clip point, but the Tonto sounds good too because it's hollow ground. Let me show this to you real quick. Matt says, today's carry, the TJ Schwartz Overland X. I love that. I love that knife. The Demko Shark Cub and Phobos Calcula. New favorite. If you could get Eric Hansen from Phobos on the show, that would be awesome. That's a great idea. I'll look into Eric Hansen. I didn't know his name. So that's great, Matt. Let's see. Let me write this down. Eric Hansen. Phobos. Okay, this is a knife I saw in someone's pocket in Philadelphia bike shop, early 90s. And I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. Pulled it out, used it to like cut a tire or something, put it back in his pants pocket. He had cargo pants, put it in the side pocket. I was like, oh my God. And it's on a clip. And so I finally got one of these. I got this at Willie Knives in Delaware. The Willies were on the show here. They also testified in front of their state Senate and Congress about knife laws and helped get the automatic knives legal in Delaware. Anyway, I was at their knife shop, which is really cool, for the second year in a row. And I knew I was going to purchase something, and had a little time to do some research about it as my daughters and wife were shopping, and got online. I was like, I'm getting the Police. They have one, and I love this thing. It is so old school, and it's still just perfect. Stainless, kind of heavy, great lock, great washer action, great knife. All right, I had to show it off. Been carrying this a lot. Nice and thin too. I think I cut someone off, but I do apologize. Adrian Fighter 35 says, only had one knife today, the Cold Steel Espada Large G10 version. Great work knife. Yeah. Well, I say yeah. I've never used mine for work, but I love the Espadas, all of them. Ken Hack, nice to have you here, Ken. Good evening, junkies. #knife. That reminds me. Thank you. We are giving away this, and we're going to do it real soon. I wonder how many we have in the chat who have #knife. Even if this isn't your cup of tea, it's still great to win a knife. It's good luck. The fret is all over my IG. Oh, okay. All right. As I just got a new IG and I was searching for you, and I don't think I am connected to you yet. Okay, so come on. A couple more people. I know, Shane, I know you want one of these. #knife this. Could be yours. Matthew Lee, nice to have you here, Matthew. I'm still carrying the Manix 2XL 3 years straight and still in tip-top shape. That's such a great knife. Do you have a deep carry pocket clip on that, or do you stick with the one that it shipped with? Just curious. Victor Blades. By the way, Paisan, I have the same Benny with those gorgeous purple Kiranite covers. Good one, Bob. Oh, yeah. It is good. Looks like a dress some starlet would wear in a movie. That's what I was trying to get to before. Beautiful. Ken Hack says, good evening, junkies. And he says, #Knife. All right, putting this away. And then I have another couple of Bobtism. Oh, shit. Police? Yes. Yes, sir. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The original Police. That's right. It's been in so many movies, too. And the one that comes to mind the most is Cliffhanger, I believe. Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone. So also from Willie Knives, I got this. Michael Spahich. Nice to have you here, Michael. Carried the Cold Steel Voyager Tonto XL. We have great minds thinking alike, Michael. I got mine out tonight, too. So lots of Cold Steel fans in this chat. I love it. Look at this. I got the Cold Steel. What is this? The Urban Edge. I can never remember that. Urban Edge. This is the 2-inch double edge. I wanted the one with the serrations on both sides. They didn't have it. But this is great, man. It's really small. It's easy to grab. Pretty nasty if you actually needed it. Easy to stash on the belt. Easy to hide. Or you can hang it. It's nice and light. Hang it around your neck. You can even put it on your keys, though. What I would do, because I've had one like this on my keys before, is put a zip tie and have it be the length of here to here, and just use it, wedge it over the top so it doesn't come out when you're just cruising around when you don't want it to come out. So I got that this weekend too. Sorry for the voice. Matthew Lee says, if I'm working in a dodgy area, I carry the Cold Steel Voyager XL crisp blade. Oh man, Matthew, that thing would scare anyone off, or most. It would scare most people off. Split and Slices says, carry tonight, OT at the shop. Oh, is the Milwaukee Fastback 6N1. Okay. I think I've seen that one that you've posted. The Tempest Microburst, nice. and the Groman 340S lockback. Very nice. So you're working overtime at the shop, building some carpentry stuff. Carpentry stuff. What am I talking about? Doing woodworking. Very nice, man. I'm glad to know that these dulcet tones are helping with your creativity. Autumn Wind, nice to have you here, Autumn Wind. Hello, all, he says. Spyderco stovepipe. That's a cool knife. Oh, that's a cool knife. I love that guy's work. And a GEC 15 today. Also a great, great knife. I love the 15. And he says, hashtag knife. Zachary Schmidt says, Bob, I'm getting ready to release a small run of my first design with Jacob Suite, a very good knife company. How awesome. With some encouragement from T. Kell. Oh my gosh, man. I cannot wait to see this knife. Oh man. Two of my favorites out there. Jacob is a new favorite. He's such a nice guy. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I absolutely love my one and only, but I plan to change that. Very good knife company, First Strike. Terminator Joe says, I carry 2XLs sometimes. Oh my God. I know you have one that's got a red handle similar to this color. Love this knife. Sword XXXY says, today's carry was my Le Griff and a diagnostic. Ooh, nice. Two little hooky kind of knives. Two little hooking, nasty little blood letters. Lone Star Dowboy says, I met a dominatrix that liked knives. She always got her strap on. That's pretty good. That's a great dad joke. That's a great dirty dad joke. James Hart says, I didn't carry it, but I did put a new carry system on the new Grow EF 146 knife. It's a beast of a blade. It is a beast of a blade. I love the shape of that sort of upswept shape. Jacob Vargas says, today's carry is the new TKL Agent 003, the TKL DP1, the Lex Rex custom knife Jacobite. How cool. I'm going to have Lex on the show. He expressed interest. We just have to settle on a date. But he makes some cool stuff. So nice deep cuts there. Strings, nice to have you here, Strings. How you doing, man? What's up, my brother? Jim and all you knife junkies received the steel will and enjoying it. I'm old school and recommend the Buck 110 for first timers. I'm with you on that. The 110 or the 112. G-Ball Vision says, anyone live in Delaware here? I'll be there soon. G-Ball, if you're anywhere near Greenwood, go check out Willie Knives. It's a great place. They're awesome people. Edgy American says, that's the Beastie Boys sabotage video knife. Yes, that's right. That's right. Beastie Boys sabotage video. It was in this Will Smith detective movie with aliens from outer space. It's been in a bunch of things, but yeah, I forgot about the sabotage video. Doyle Ammo, nice to have you here, Doyle. I'm just trying to figure out how people are carrying so much. Well, wait, Doyle. Some people, I know myself included. I always have 4 knives for my pocket check, and 3 of them I carry. One of them, my ESK, is always kind of riding close by, say in my backpack or locked in a drawer at my desk if I'm at the office or just here. But that's how some people are working from home, say, and they've got their setup, and so they might have, their pocket check might include the stuff that they've been fiddling with all day that's right in front of them. At least that's what I imagine, because though I have met some people who do carry a lot of knives. I've met them at Blade Show. They've talked about carrying a lot of knives here. Then I meet them in person, and they really have them all over them. I think some people are carrying all of those, and some people like me just kind of have them around. Doug Bull says, Bob, I had to go out of town to transport my daughter and grandson from a possibly dangerous area. I carried my Shivworks and Hickory 21-inch straight baton in the car. Oh, I bet you did, man. That Shivworks sounds awesome. I'm glad you rescued your daughter and grandson from a potentially dangerous situation. That's awesome. Got to look out for the kids. the women and the children. Michael Upchurch, good to have you here, Michael. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Michael. Hashtag knife. You could win this TS56. Let's do this in. Let's see. Ira Hayes says, "Wow, that's a neat, fun design." Hashtag knife. Ira, this could be yours. Standard pocket clip in the waistband, says Matthew Lee. Which knife was it? Sorry, Anthony Rollins. Nice to have you here, Anthony. Knife Junkie. What you talking about, Willis? Everybody throws the spider spoon away as soon as it comes out of the box. Oh my God, what you talk about, Willis? Thank you. That just took me back. Pete Davidson, Different Strokes, people. It's a great show. It's worth stopping on if you're on spinning. Pete Davidson says, "Good day, Bob, Jim, and the rest of the mob." Good to have you here, Pete. How's it hanging? Well, you know, congratulations on the police. Thank you very much. Great knife, and I dare say an icon. You should go sharpen the back of that frog sticker. Are you going to sharpen the back of that frog sticker? Hell no. No, I don't think so. I guess I could, but I'll wait till it gets dull, because I know that's a good trick to do once it gets dull, a little bit dull. But no, I'm going to keep it like it is. And I love the swedge on this, and I love the hollow grind on this that you don't get on the Police 4 or whatever they're up to right now. I'm not sure what Police this is. It's just like the classic stainless model, but. Have a Knife Day says, "What do you think of the new K-Bar Stabby?" I think it's cool, man. I've watched a number of Scott's videos, Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors videos, and it looks awesome. It reminds me a lot of this knife, which I'm very fond of, the Doghead K-Bar. Same overall vibe on the shape, though it's slightly stylized and a little bit newer. Of course, the design demands different things because it's a full tang construction, so a full slab. I think that's why it's called Stabby, and I think it looks great. What do you think? Have a Knife Day. Pete Davidson says, "I'm at the workstation right now, so I only have a Victorinox Huntsman on me. If ninjas were to attack me right now, I'd have a vast selection of blunt and broken knives to fight them with." Oh man. Sometimes it's not even worth the blunt knife. You have to like take the scissors or the ruler or the stapler. Matt Lamana says, "Looking forward to that VGKC Lone Star Jack." VGKC. Oh wow. What is VGKC? What is that? Lone Star Jack. Matt? Yes, we're gonna have to. What is that? Bob Tism says, "Working from home, I touch all of my knives all day long." Yeah, I like the way you put that. I like your choice of words. I touch them too. I'm a knife toucher. Strings says, "Today's carry, newly acquired Spyderco Shaman, fully serrated, very nice. Victorinox Ranger, grip 55 Onyx Black, very nice." All right, wait, let's give this away. Let's give this knife away. There are definitely people who carry a shit ton of knives. Yeah, it is true. Could be guns, though, or pole arms. Man, I'm glad I don't collect pole arms. You're like, "What do you have on you today?" Well, I have a glaive and a boar hunting spear and and then also a baldric. All right, that's not the right word. Let's do this. How many do we have in the chat who have put hashtag knife in? Let's see. And as we pull that up, D2 blade steel, by the way. Here's the maker's mark of the designer right there. Okay, we have 98 people watching, 71 ready to go on this one. Really cool, robust tip, stylized grooves there, kind of like stylized file work. Really nice jimping, good and grabby. Yeah, and really nice contoured handle. Not actually contoured, but large arched bevels. What do you call those? Chamfers. Makes it look really good. All right, and very nice bearing action, deep carry pocket clip, and a gear pattern backspacer. All right, Jim, shall we? Let's do this. Let's bring it up. 73 entries. Okay, that little spiel got 2 more. All right, I love it. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. Here it goes. Always a tease. Always a tease. Who's going to win this time? Hero Sticks. Hero Sticks. You're a lucky man. This is going to you. Hero has loaned me knives in the past, and lots of cool stuff he's introduced me to. So I'm excited to send this off to you, Hero. This is yours now. All right. I will remember that. I will put that over there and send it off to you tomorrow. I will send that tomorrow. Guaranteed. Strings was just in the chat or on the screen. I'm going to put this knife under just as eye candy. I traded with him for this, a knife I always wanted. This was one that got away. The Maroney says, that's an awesome Two Sun. Hey, you know what? I have one more Two Sun from Dave to give away. It's a small one. It is beautiful. We'll give that away sometime soonish. Two Sun makes great knives. I only have one. I've had a few in the past, but I kept one. It's really cool. It's a recurved Tonto. Matthew Lee says, my knife tradition is that it's only truly my knife once I've accidentally cut myself with it. See, I always say when I cut myself with a knife for the first time, I'm always like, okay, now I really own this. But until it cuts me, I still feel like I really own it, which is convenient for me. Hey, let me show you let me just show you the difference between the Vaquero blade today and the Vaquero blade of yesteryear. Zachary Smith, or Schmid, I'm sorry. Zachary says, we're calling it the VGKC Lone Star. That's right, boys. Like Sydney Sweeney, patriotism is back in fashion. A tribute to behind the scenes blue-collar men and women, men of women out there are Lone Stars, if you will. Oh, very good knife company. I'm such an idiot. Gotcha. Lone Star. That's right, boys. Like Sydney Sweeney, patriotism. I'm in. And not only on Jacob O'Sweet and anything he builds, and can't wait to see your design, but also can't wait to carry something patriotic. Have a knife day. Full tang with a cutout. Full tang with a cutout. Okay. Does that bother you? I think you're talking about the K-bar. Does it bother you that it's cut out? Or are you saying that just to be like, to be precise? Ken Hack says, my first knife was a Wenger Backpacker Swiss Army knife. It has a locking main blade, great scissors, and a saw. Oh, a locking main blade. That's cool. It was a great first knife. I still own it, and it's still my favorite knife. Ken, does that one have grippy, like rubber on the handle? Edgy American Blade says, I want that Medford EOD pretty bad. No idea why. It's just very cool. Yes, it is. I was watching the video he posted of it and just showing it off. And yeah, it is cool. Big, fat Warncliffe. I mean, just giant. Knife touchers unite, says Pete Davidson. Yes, I think that's what we've done here. The Maroney says, my carry is an auxiliary manufacturing pocket Bowie. It's just awesome. Okay, the Maroney, where's mine? I just pulled it up. Okay, so this is mine. Here, let me get these. I've been carrying this on the strap of my EDC backpack on the left side. It's small, discreet. No one has noticed it as far as I can tell. And it's a great little spot to put it. And just as the clip was sent, that's how I just hang it upside down, and I get a great little knife on me at all times. I love this thing. Bob Tism says, oh man, I want to collect pole arms. Yes, man. Start with the one that's got the hammer and the axe, because you can do all sorts of stuff with guys riding by on horses. You know, hit them in the head with the hammer, they fall off. You use the axe, or you can hook them off using the axe, and then when they're on the ground, use the hammer. it's great. And then with all the distance you get and leverage you get from a pole arm, man, at the end of it, the power is incredible. So yeah, I think it's a wise choice for you to get into pole arms. If you need justifications to anyone in your life, let me know and I'll help you come up with some. The Moroni says, oh, and I also have the Kaiser Banish XL in Rex 45. Oh, that's awesome. The Rex 45, I love it. I have it on my Mystic. Very good knife company for the win, says the Grinch. Indeed. Yes. Yes, that's all I have to say is yes. I want a red-handled eagle to go with my red-handled first strike. I also want a black first strike with a secondary sharpened edge and a slightly shorter handle. So I have this all mapped out. James Hart says, as the old song goes, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Oh, I love that, James. It's bittersweet and heartbreaking, but I love the lyric. The Moroni says, I really want Kaiser and White Mountain Knives to do a Kaiser Banish XL in S90V and full DLC. S90V, my only real exposure to S90V is through my Jack Wolf knives. Speaking of which, I have a new one to show you in a minute. Matt Lamana says, apologies, Zach. I'm sorry. Apologies, Zach. I thought the cat was out of the bag. Jake's been talking about it for weeks. G-Ball Vision says, anyone remember the K-Bar TDI? Yeah, I bought that years ago. Thought it was the coolest thing ever with the locking sheath. Oh, my TDI doesn't have a locking sheath, I don't think. But the gentleman, I can't remember his first name, Brenner, or Benner, I think, who designed that, just recently passed away. Bob Tism says, I just ordered an auxiliary XL pocket Bowie. So excited. Mine is over there. What did you get yours with the handle wrap, or did you get it with scales? Either way, it's awesome. I absolutely love my auxiliary manufacturing pocket Bowie. I changed out my sheath clip to an Ulti clip. Do you have the custom one, or do you have the one I was just showing off, or both? Ken Hack says scales on the Wenger backpacker of early 1980s vintage are satin sheen red plastic. All right, cool. And thank you for putting the question in your answer, because it's hard to remember what. James Hart says, yes, the cold steel pole axe. That's the one. I have one. I keep it in my office. I have a Great Dan axe in my bedroom, a hand and a half, quick to use. Oh, cool. Yes, I want the Viking axe that they make. I think every household needs a battle axe. I mean, I've got tomahawks, and those are battle axes technically, but I mean a battle axe, two-hander. Lone Star Dowboy says, cannot figure out where to put the pocket clip on my polearm XL. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or how big it should be. It should be at least that big. Doug Bowl says, when it comes to accidental cuts, pain is the best teacher. Yeah, no doubt about that. The Moroni says, and the shock of seeing blood on your blade. It's always a little bit like, ugh. The Moroni says, I have a sheath you have. It's awesome in pocket with a slim 3.3 inch. Oh, Ulti clip. Yes. I've come around to Ulti clip. I was a little about them, but now I see when they are valuable, more so than, say, a DCC clip. James Hart says, I have all of Cold Steel's Viking axes. How cool. I got one for my brother a few years ago. It's cool. Oh, I look at a Ken Block blade very soon. Oh, dude. Okay. Let me pull out my Ken Block. Brock. I'm sorry. Love this thing. So thin. This is so easy to carry and wicked. 3V. So nasty, deadly, beautiful design by Joe Watson, made by Ken Brock. Just awesome. I love this thing so much. Carries so nicely. Scott says axes. Now we're talking my language. Oh man. Yeah. I need to get into axes. I got the tomahawks. I do need to get into some axes. Something, like I said, beefier. Craig Vincent says, Last week, I gave a TDI to a friend of mine who works as an armed guard. He had never heard of it, but he loved it. Yeah, it's intuitive too, right? You just got to know how to punch, and that was a lame punch, but you know what I mean? You just have to know how to throw a punch because the knife, it has that pistol grip. So it, much like a punch dagger, it just orients the blade in the proper direction. John Schaaf says, got any of those Hogue fixies lying around that office there, Bob? No, I don't. The only, we were just talking axes, and since you're talking Hogue, this is the only Hogue I have on the desk. And the only, no, I have the Hogue RSKs. Those are the only other Hogues I have right now. But this thing is awesome. Alan Olishewitz designed this really nice tomahawk. It's kind of half breacher tomahawk because it's pretty much a full tang. But it's also light enough, especially with that big hole in the blade. It's short and light enough. You can swing this around very easily and use it as a fighting a weapon. Zachary Schmidt says, Jacob Vargas, I'm not originally from Texas, but from Maryland, Bob's neighborhood, if you will. I was trying to come up with a patriotic sounding name in 2025. Very nice. Talking about his Jacob a Sweet collaboration. Very good knife company. Very G-Ball Vision says, I didn't know they made them without that locking sheath. Yeah, I don't think mine definitely didn't lock. Bob Tism says, got the auxiliary from PVK. I'm assuming it's the mid-tech, or is it the custom? Well, I'm not sure. If it's Bob Tism, you got the big one, right? If you got the big one, that's going to be a custom one, and that'll be. But if you got the small one and it's got the green handle like this, or the black on black, and it's got the deadhead on it, that will be a Miguron made $99. So I'm not sure. G-Ball Vision says it's got a slider tab to remove the fixed blade. It's a tactical blade or designed as one. Okay. Oh, that Hogue is epic, Bob. Yeah, I love this thing. Also has a sort of paddle in the waistband paddle. Kind of cool. Pete Davidson says, yes, every house needs a battle axe. Mine lets me sleep in on days. Mine lets me sleep in on days off, does the laundry once a week, and enables my unhealthy knife collection habit. Love you, darling, in case you're listening. Yes, sir. My dad used to call, that was a favorite one my dad would call. I don't know what the nice way to put it. Very, very, very assertive older women he would call battle axes. Strings says, hey, Bob, do you have an extrema ratio cell vans? I do not. I have no extrema ratio knives. The one that I want is the patata. They've got like a big black patata. It's so cool. Patata is the signature knife from the island of Sardinia, off of Italy, and Spyderco has made their patata, and it's such a cool design. And Extrema Ratio, which is an Italian company making tactical knives, making a tactical version of the patata, is just very, very cool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jacob Green says, if I had to pick a self-defense weapon, I would pick a cane. Legal everywhere, including the Oval Office. No permit needed. Good one. That is good. Jacob, I'd put a sword in there, but you won't get that into the Oval Office. But yeah, I like that, a cane. While you're at it, make it rattan and give it a nice big hook so you can, use it for martial purposes. Zachary Schmid says, that's what Norm Macdonald called his wife, an old battle axe. Norm Macdonald, R.I.P. He was awesome. Jacob Vargas says the TCAL Agent 001 is a must-have and soon to be here. Yes, I agree. I will be getting some from Tim, and I will be doing a push to sell them. I love, and I'm very proud of that knife, and it is my ultimate go-to daily carry fixed blade knife. Terminator Joe says, you got me set on getting a police, and I only have one Spyderco. Oh man, yeah. Get this. It's 4¼ inches, so it's a nice size EDC. It's nice and thin, very thin, but substantially, it's substantial because these are stainless slabs. Laughing my ass off. My dad did it too. That old battle axe, says G-Ball Vision. That's funny. Anthony Rollins says, Giant Mamba is a nice one from Extrema Ratio. Giant Mamba. I don't know that one. Yes, but definitely get one. Craig Vincent says, the TDI was designed to wear on the weak side as a secondary weapon in case someone wraps you up and goes for your sidearm. I don't carry myself. I just think that knife is useful and very cool. Yeah, I agree with you, Craig. I think it is useful and cool. And they did a hinderer version of it with a where the blade was a little bit longer, and it was kind of a tanto, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I like pistol grip knives in general. Like I just had the Desperado out. I like that form factor. String says, I'll do that cool old cold steel dragon walking stick in lieu of a cane. Yeah, that was cool. Bobtism says, best Japanese Spyderco. Yeah, I don't have too many Japanese Spydercos. If I have any. Yeah, I do. The Persian, I think, was Japanese. Scott says, Norm also called her a dirty dog. Norm was funny. Yeah, R.I.P. Indeed. Oh, Jim, let's bring up knife notes real quick. Something Jim's been doing on Patreon, knife notes. Check this out. This is cool. He just put up, was it yesterday? Let's see. Yeah, well, just go to the Knife Junkie. Yeah, a knife that saved a life. And it's an article about a guy who ran out of ammo in a battle in Fallujah and ended up having to go for his Gerber folder, Fairbairn, Applegate Fairbairn folder. Something I've always wanted, a knife I've always wanted. And he used that to save his life against a couple of enemy combatants. Not that one right there, but one just like it. But the point is, knife notes. Jim has been putting these things together on a regular basis, like a number of them every week, and they're all really cool, and they just cover the gamut in terms of knife articles, like from specific knives, like the Bowie knife and the kukri, to different luminaries in the field in the past and all this kind of stuff. It's great. So there it is. I'm trying to explain it to you while Jim is actually scrolling and you can see it. So check out knife notes. Yeah, I want one of those. Don't you? I mean, it's a Applegate Fairbairn. I wouldn't mind a fixed bladed version of that either. All right, let me show you this. This is cool. Speaking of the purple handle, here is the new Jack Wolf Knives, or JW Collab Collusion. This is the collusion. This is done with Jacob Ginsberg. Jacob Creates is what he goes by on Instagram. I've been following him for a long time. Hero Sticks, who won the knife tonight, is the guy who exposed me first to Jacob Ginsberg's work in a box of knives he sent me to check out. There was one in there, and always liked his stuff. But this is a design by him and manufactured by, or I should say, put through production through that whole process by Ben Belkin. So just a beautiful design, and of course, beautifully made. And I lucked out, got this one with the purple Kieranite. It also has a titanium anodized bead here, and it comes with this sort of snake knot thing. And I really like it. It really helps you extract the blade from the sheath, especially when it's new like this and very stiff. This is another one right in the front pocket next to my EDC has been very comfortable to carry. And then you just kind of, I just kind of grab onto the fob like that, push off, and there you got it in hand. S90V blade steel. That is Jacob Ginsberg's maker's mark there. You can see it's hollow ground. You can see the grind lines through that DLC. And then there's that beautiful Kieranite. Man. Beautiful stuff. I've been admiring Jacob's work for a long time and have kind of wanted to get something from him. This is a good start. I'd love to get a custom by him as well, but I'm really impressed by this knife. It's different from these other fixed EDCs. He's got a couple of, he meaning Jack Wolf Knives, has a couple of these fixed EDCs, and they're cool. It's a different line though. So yeah, that's a collaboration. So sometimes the collaborations are folders and sometimes otherwise. So they're going to be different from these, the fixed line. Does that make any sense? Does that make sense, people? All right, put these aside. I'm a wash in knives. All right, since I got you, and since we're talking fixed blade knives, let me show you this one last cool thing. Sorry to monopolize your time, but check this out. I got from Armis Knife and Tool, I got a mini VSK1 sheath, which is an ambidextrous sheath for that knife. But Michael Grasso of Armis put out a video saying, if you want an ambidextrous pocket sheath like the ones I produce for your Amtac Northman, I have one that fits already. The VSK one sheath will fit the Northman perfectly, and he's right. And I bought it, and I love it. It's really cool. So if by chance you have the Northman and you would like to upgrade your sheath or change your sheath, the VSK mini VSK one from Armis is great. Or if you're the type of person who does a lot of travel, you might want to get this. This is the universal paring knife sheath. So you take this with you on the plane. When you land, you go to the grocery store closest to your hotel. You buy a cheap knife, cheap paring knife, and put it in there. It'll fit. Say it's a little loose. You take this back to the hotel, hit this with the blow dryer for a minute, and soften up that Kydex. Put the new knife in there, squeeze it till it cools, and then you got a knife. When you're leaving town, you don't want to get busted with the knife. You just throw the knife, give the knife away to someone, and then you take the sheath, pack the sheath. So anyway, Armis Knife and Tool does great sheaths, and you can buy them separate from the knife itself, which I highly recommend for this. I like the Northman sheath, but it's one of those in-pocket deep sheaths, and that's okay, but I always feel like I'm going to cut my pants, or it's just buried a little deep. So this is perfect because it comes right up to the surface, and it's ambidextrous. Zachary Schmidt says, when the stuff hits the fan and society's rules are off the table, I'm grabbing a fixed blade every time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can have them close at hand all the time. G-Ball Vision says, that's right, Bob. That's why they're different. Bobby Rains says, the Tactical Defense Institute, TDI school, is only about 45 minutes from me. I kind of forgot about that. Might have to check them out. Yeah, I read that place is really great for learning shooting and other kind of stuff. Jacob Vargas says, great. Yes, great story. Sorry. Craig Vincent says, speaking of K-Bar, I love the K-Bar USMC, but the Cold Steel Leatherneck is arguably a better version, better handle and full tang. Yeah, I don't know. I got to get one. I haven't had one, and I've kind of gone back and forth about getting one for years. I should just bite the bullet and get. I'm just not crazy about all the branding on that knife. I think that knife has like Cold Steel on the handle or something about it. some excuse why I don't have it. Have a Knife Day says, I purchased a Cold Steel Viking battle axe from one of their parking lot events when they were in Ventura. Oh, man. That would have been cool. I'd love to go to one of their parking lot events. Jacob Vargas says, great work, Jim. I say great work as well. Matthew Lee says, I just bought my wife the Spyderco Matriarch 2 lightweight Emerson opener. That's a perfect knife. Now she's too cocky. It's going to get me in trouble. Yeah. That's funny. That's a great knife. I got my wife the Emerson opener Delica. But yeah, with the Matriarch, perfect. Pete Davidson says, were you at all tempted to buy a Police 4 with a Super Steel? No, my K390 with custom carbon fiber knurled scales and titanium hardware is my favorite folder that meets all my requirements. No, I wasn't actually. I was really drawn to the old school Police stainless steel. So it was either going to be this or it was going to be a military 2 in crew wear. It was either that or this. That was a little bit more expensive, or maybe a little bit more than a little bit more. Pardon me, but yeah, I want to get that too. String says, cool knife notes article. I have long searched for a YouTube channel that tells knife stories about knives being used in dangerous or unusual situations. No luck finding such stories. That sucks. I think a lot of people want to avoid it, just because they don't want people to think that they're criminals. Terminator Joe says, I had the same Gerber on my first deployment in 2007. I dread losing it. Oh, that sucks. Terminator Joe, man, if you don't have eBay, the eBay app on your phone, download it, open it up every once in a while. If you have the money, if you have the knife budget humming along, and crack it open and see. Every once in a while, you might find one on eBay. I'm finding some cool stuff. I haven't bought anything yet, but Jacob Vargas says, wow, that's a beautiful Warncliffe. Which one? Damn. Edgy American Blades is laughing. Oh, I know. Okay, so this is the beautiful Warncliffe, or sheep's foot, I would argue. And I also think that is why Shane is laughing. Bob Tism says, or is it a tall flat? No, it's hollow. It's hollow. Matt Lamana says, Knife Notes keeps me engaged and entertained in between all the awesome video content. Respect and love to Jimmy Notes. Matt Lamana. Thank you, man. G-Ball Vision says, hey, Bob, who or what do you use to create your website? That is a Jim question. Oh, well, the who is Jim. Zachary Schmidt says, Bob, what's a blade you're almost ashamed to admit you like, or a guilty pleasure knife for you? Funny. Karambits, because even though, so I did a lot of knife training in Kali, and I did just a little bit of karambit training, just enough to I got some karambit training, but I just don't think it's an intuitive weapon. I think ever since I discovered for myself the Pakal, which is very intuitive because it takes advantage of this motion, this natural motion, whereas the karambit requires kind of the opposite motion. So maybe cool karambits, because I never carried them. I never considered carrying them, but I have a number of them, and I like them. That's my first answer, Zach. Something else might come up. Peterbilt Knife Guy, good to have you here. Good evening, he says. Good evening to you, sir. I was impressed to see that buck go through that 3/8 inch piece of steel. That was impressive and surprising. Lamar Faciane. Lamar, good to have you here, sir. I recommend a Buck 119 special as a first fixed blade. That's an excellent first fixed blade. And that, it wasn't the special, it was just the plain Buck 119. But that was in my list of knives, fixed blade knives that should be in every collection. I love that knife. Ever since I spotted it like in the 70s in a case in the hardware store, and I was like, God, that's like a cowboy knife and a pirate knife all in one. Terminator Joe says, now that I think about it, I might have gave it a boot in one of my many drunken nights back in K-Bay, Hawaii. Yeah. Oh man, those drunken nights, they will catch up with you. Better you lose the knife and get rid of it than something worse happens when you're drunk with a knife. I back when I drank more and was a younger guy, I early on made a rule: no drinking and knives. I broke that rule a lot, but no flipping them around, because I inevitably cut myself or stab myself. Doug Bull says, Bob, I just got a short video from Craig Douglas demonstrating the Big Bear Bowie. Any knowledge on it? No. Craig Douglas. So he's South Narc. He's the guy who and who did the clinch pick and stuff. The Big Bear Bowie. No, I don't know any knowledge on it. No, maybe you could send me if it's just a link. Send me that link. I'd love to see that. That sounds awesome. I really like Craig Douglas. I think he's really cool. Pete Davidson says those ambi pocket sheaths seem great. I'm lefty. Are they noticeably more bulky in the pocket compared to a regular Kydex sheath? Also, how tight is it? The sheath, you rotter. Okay, so here, this one, it's a little tight. All it would take is to hit it with a heat gun on light from a distance. You don't want to like blow out the shape, but just to loosen it a little, or a hair dryer even. But there's a nice bit of soft the soft side of the Velcro on the inside, which also kind of gives it some padding, stops it from rattling around and stuff. Noticeably more bulky, can be, yes. Yeah, a little bit more bulky than, say, well, definitely more bulky than, say, this. But is it really? Yeah, it is a little bit. This is the Fisher blades. You turn it on its side. Yeah, they're a little bit more bulky, but and this is not to rag on you if you do, but like it might be noticeable if you wear tight jeans, or if you wear skinny jeans or something. But if you're just kind of a regular guy with like kind of regular jeans, it won't hassle you at all. My biggest is the VSK by Armis, and I carry that and I love it. But that's substantially bigger than the Mini, which is this. Ron Dobbins says, Knife Junkie, hello, how you doing? I'm doing great, Ron. How you doing? Good to have you here. Oh, Blade-tastic Knives. It's been a minute. Good to have you, man. I love those, whatever those things are. Those are sweet, those blades you got there. It's nice to have you here with us. Craig Vincent says, I love what you guys are doing with the knife notes. The history and lore behind particular knives is my favorite aspect of collecting. Yeah. That's why everyone should get something old. Get an old K-bar. They're kind of easy to come by. There were so many of them made. It's cool to have something that's had a life, especially something older than you are. Scott says, I'm lucky enough to have an Almar USMC with Coca-Cola handle. Oh my gosh, that's nice, man. I'd love to have an old Almar. Mike, anything cold steel? Absolutely. Anything cold steel. Here's something cold steel. One of my proudest purchases. Lynn is the godfather. One of my proudest, most exciting purchases from the past year, past 6 months. The Black Bear, this Black Bear Classic. I've wanted this one for years and years and years and decades, a couple of decades, if not 3. Finally got one with the old sheath. Ron Dobbins says, I'm carrying the Null Raiden R2 Magna Cut titanium scales and Kunwu Excalibur Integral in black DLC with Zercuti clip and Big Idea pry bar and Big Idea titanium pen and fossil watch. Nice all around. That Null Raiden is such a cool knife. Such a cool knife. Ron Dobbins says, I am going to get the Winterblade Mirage knife. I just saw one of those recently in person. G-Ball Vision says, I just ordered the Crew Carta PM2. Very nice. Bob always gets me ordering knives. This week it was the BBMN. Oh, man, that's awesome. What can I say? I'm glad you got the BBMN. That's a cool knife. I got it here somewhere. This is a cool knife, man. Did you get the Tonto or the clip point? Both are very, very tempting. Larry Babcock says, I got the Spyderco Military 2 Sprint Run S90V carbon fiber and love it. Larry, this is another Spyderco I really, really want. And I don't carry my Spydercos that much. That's why it's hard to justify. Though I must say, I have been carrying this one quite a bit. I did, like it's about to go out. Unfortunately, Cool Steel is gone from Ventura. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, Cool Steel has gone from Ventura, and I haven't heard anything about continuing the tradition with the new owners. Will Lynn restart the tradition? I doubt that. Though some of his non-competes are up, and now he can start doing stuff that would technically compete with Cold Steel. Edgy American Blade says, if you wrestle with the pig in the mud long enough, you realize the pig enjoys it. Yeah. Yeah. What does that mean? That's cryptic, but yeah, that's true. Matt Lamana says, took a karambit class with Doug Markida, learned enough to know that I should never carry one. Yes. If you've ever stabbed yourself in the forearm, you'll know. They are cool. But for me, even with with some training, more than just a class, that motion, it's just not natural. Anyway, Pete Davidson says, I reckon you should start off with a good set of chef's knives and learn how to use them before you move on to the serious stuff. That is a great point, Pete, because we should all be feeding ourselves and eating as much non-processed food as we can. It's terrible how we've been poisoned. Not that I'm jumping off into a different subject, but man alive, cook as much as you can for yourself, I say. James Hart says, well, I'm off. James, have an awesome weekend and a great evening. Have to find out what is making an odd noise outside. Oof. Yeah, so I will take my Viking battle axe and do a quick patrol. Hopefully it's not it's nothing that you need a battle axe for. Ron Dobbins says, I just picked up and have a great weekend, sir. Just picked up my second James Brand Barnes integral knife. That is such a beautiful knife. That's a beautiful one. Not an inexpensive knife, but who among us doesn't have inexpensive knives? Inexpensive knives. How can anyone hate karambits? Doug Markida pushes it. Plus, it's like having a giant tiger claw in your hand. Yes, this is what I was going to say. In regular grip, I don't have a karambit here. So in standard grip, not karambit standard, this would be karambit. I don't think that if I were to carry one for self-defense, like my Emerson, I would carry it like this, blade forward, and use it like that, like a Talon. To me, in reverse grip, it's all about the pacaw. It's all about having that claw turned in and oriented like a claw. Claws are like this. Claws don't have the sharp part and go out like that. They go like this. Bob Tism, who are you calling a tight jeans hipster? Yeah, I don't know. There might be some tight jeans hipsters here, and that's cool. I I can't wear them anymore. Not that I ever did, but you know, I used to be fashionable. But you know, you turn a certain corner, and suddenly you look like your uncles when you were a teenager. Craig Vincent says, Bob, dual picals can be very effective for the untrained. Exactly. Especially while on the ground flailing, utilizing a deadly dying cockroach technique. Yes, and the same thing with the civilian style blade, that S-curve style blade, the matriarch. Someone had mentioned that they got for their wife. Perfect for that kind of situation where you just you know how to do this, right? Ron Dobbins says, everyone make sure you are subscribed and like the video, hit the thumbs up. Absolutely. We're pulling into the station in about 3 minutes. Let me see, anything else I need to show? No, I just want to make sure. Pete Davidson, my jeans are definitely loose. I just can't get down with anything that is thick in the pocket and has that much handle sticking out with minimal retention. I ride a motorbike and value higher retention in pocket sheath, extra points if the knife fits entirely in the pocket with no handle showing. Okay, got you. Yeah, so some of these would definitely not be for you. Probably this one would be the closest for you because it's got a tight fit and it's low profile. But yeah, I could see how you just wouldn't want that if your pockets, if you're sitting on your motorbike, your pockets are aiming that way. I bet you've lost a lot of knives. G-Ball Vision says, Bob, yes, sir. I went with the Tonto, and when I went to order it, I saw that the DLC 3V version and had to get it. Oh, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. I love it. I love this knife. I don't think I need to get the clip point, but I reserve the right to get the clip point. Gary Bucco says, good night, Bob. Sleep beckons and I get a chance to dream about my next knife. Great show, as always. Later. Gary, thank you so much, man. Have a great weekend. The Buck Ranger is a knife. Yes, it is a knife. It is a great knife. I'll pull it out for the third time, just because, why not? Doug Bull says, Bob, got a scoot. Have a great weekend. Also, stay safe. Thank you, Doug. You have a wonderful weekend. It's a great thing you did. And, well, enjoy the weekend. Homie Omi, off topic, but I have a Lon Humphrey axe on the way. Very excited. That's not off topic. That's awesome. Lon Humphrey, great maker, and an axe to boot. Matthew Lee says, top tip, if you ever walk into a room where they're running metal detectors, just look puzzled, pat your pockets, and act like you forgot your phone and leave. Had to do this at courthouse a while back. Yeah, I hear you, Matthew. Pete Davidson says, processing meat and vegetables is a great way to learn how a knife works and move through different materials. It's also easier learning how to sharpen on a thinner knife, definitely. Sean Clark says, thanks, Bob and Jim, for making Thursday nights better. Sean, my pleasure, man. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you here. Have a Knife Day says, some leather jackets have adjustable cordage to tighten and loosen them. I knew a biker that had threaded his Kmart into that. Have a knife night and stay sharp. You too, man. All right, that just about does it. Pete Davidson says, haven't lost a knife yet on a bike. Oh, that's awesome. But a Spyderco Perrin Bowie in the pocket came close. Oof. Yeah, that's not a very tight sheath. Jerry C., everyone have a great weekend. Thank you, Jerry. Have an awesome weekend yourself. And Adrian Fighter 35, thanks, Bob and Jim, for another great night. Adrian, to you and your better half, have an awesome weekend. Craig Vincent says, I love throwing axes and cold steel all-terrain choppers. Ooh, yeah, that sounds good. Jacob Vargas, cannot find any Brock Watson Magni in stock anywhere. Go to Brock Blades, follow Ken Brock on Instagram, and I don't know how often he does that knife, but he's got some awesome designs. So check out Ken Brock's IG. Terminator Joe says, that was a damn good show. Good night. Thank you, man. Have a great night. Matthew Lee, thanks for your time, Bob. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. All right, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, Commander Bell, take care, and everyone else who is here, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, don't take dull for an answer.